Your left eyelid won't stop twitching. Your calf seized into a knot at 2 a.m. For no reason you can name. You stood up too fast off the couch and the room tilted for 3 full seconds before it settled. None of that is random, and none of it is just stress. Your body has a language, and it's been speaking to you in symptoms for years, most of which you've been mistranslating, medicating with coffee, or flat out ignoring. Today we decode 10 of the most common signals, in order, and reveal exactly what to eat to make each one stop. Stick around for the last 2, because together they reveal something that's been hiding inside a single Bible verse for 3,000 years, named by people who had nothing to work with but memory and hunger. Let's start decoding. Signal 1. You know the feeling. You drank water all day. You're not even that tired, technically. But by 3 p.m., there's a fog sitting behind your eyes that coffee only sharpens for 20 minutes before it fades again. And by evening, even after a full glass of water, something still feels off. Here's what's actually happening. You're not short on water. You're short on what's supposed to be dissolved in it. Sweat carries out sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium alongside the fluid, and plain water replaces exactly one of those. That's the part most people miss when they respond to fatigue, by just drinking more water and wondering why it barely helps. Coconut water replaces closer to all 4 at once. 1 cup carries around 600 milligrams of potassium, arriving already balanced with sodium, magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus in a ratio that sits closer to human blood plasma than almost anything else you could drink. It's part of why battlefield medics in the Pacific during World War II reportedly drained fresh coconuts and ran the liquid straight into a wounded soldier's vein when the saline ran out. Long before that had a name. Ayurvedic medicine in South Asia already classified tender coconut water as a cooling tonic, prescribed specifically for fever and exhaustion. Honest disclosure though, you won't find coconut anywhere in the Bible. Coconut palms don't grow in the Middle East, so the writers of Scripture never tasted one. The palm trees you do find throughout the Bible are date palms, doing a similar job for a very different desert. That's a story for another day. One practical note: check the label if you're buying bottled. Some versions are reconstituted from concentrate or cut with added sugar, which quietly waters down the exact mineral ratio that makes this one work in the first place. But the afternoon fog isn't the only signal your body sends when it's running low. Sometimes it waits until you're completely asleep to say something. Signal 2. You're dead asleep. Then your calf locks into a knot so sudden and so hard, you wake up gasping, grabbing your own foot in the dark, trying to pull it back into a shape that doesn't hurt. Watch marathon coverage, and you'll see this same signal answered in real time. At the finish line, almost nobody's reaching for a candy bar. They're peeling a banana with one hand while still jogging. A medium banana holds close to 420 milligrams of potassium, but the real fix isn't the potassium alone, it's what rides along with it. Fast-acting natural sugars, glucose, fructose, sucrose, refill muscle glycogen. At the exact moment potassium refills your cells, which matters, because a glycogen-depleted, potassium-low muscle is exactly the kind that locks up without warning. At 2 a.m., a study published in PLOS One found bananas performed just as well as carbohydrate sports drinks for cycling performance and recovery. Plus, fiber and antioxidants, no sports drink offers. Quick detour. You've probably heard someone joke that the forbidden fruit in Eden was a banana. Here's the actual text of Genesis 3. It never names the fruit at all, just fruit. The apple idea took hold centuries later, partly from a Latin pun malum means both apple and evil, and the banana theory is just folklore, inspired by old artwork showing Adam and Eve holding banana-like leaves. Fun rumor, not evidence, and a good reminder how much of what we know about ancient texts is later guesswork that got repeated until it started sounding true. One more thing worth knowing. Does ripeness change anything? A greener banana carries more resistant starch and digests slowly. A fully ripe, spotted one hits your bloodstream fast. Potassium barely moves. Either way, pick based on timing, not fear. But what if the cramp isn't in your leg at all? What if it's smaller, stranger, and right on your face? Signal 3. 3 days now. A tiny, involuntary flutter under your left eye that starts without warning and won't stop, no matter how many times you press 2 fingers against it. That's frequently a magnesium tell, and it's common enough that doctors ask about it directly during checkups. A single cup of cooked spinach delivers close to 840 milligrams of potassium, more than 2 bananas, and roughly 157 milligrams of magnesium riding right alongside it. Researchers estimate as many as half of adults in industrialized countries fall short of their daily magnesium needs, and magnesium deficiency is one of the most commonly missed explanations behind muscle twitching, cramping, restless sleep, and that wired but tired feeling no amount of coffee actually fixes. Magnesium is required for more than 300 separate enzyme reactions in your body, including every stage of how your cells manufacture usable energy. Does spinach show up in the Bible? No, it traces back to ancient Persia and didn't reach the wider Middle East until centuries after the biblical era closed. So, I won't pretend otherwise. But there's a story in the book of Daniel worth knowing anyway. Offered rich food from the king's table, Daniel and his companions request vegetables and water instead, and after 10 days they're described as healthier and stronger than everyone who ate the royal diet. Daniel 1, 12-16. Different vegetables, different era, same underlying signal. Plain, plant-based food, outperforming rich food, logged 3,000 years before nutrition labels existed. Cook it rather than eating it raw. Heat breaks down the oxalic acid that would otherwise block some mineral absorption. And frozen spinach isn't a lesser fix. It's typically flash frozen at peak ripeness, so nutritionally it holds up just as well as fresh, for a fraction of the prep time. Here's the uncomfortable follow-up signal though. What happens when you're already eating spinach and the twitch comes back anyway? Signal 4. You did everything right. Ate the greens, drank the water, and the cramp came back the very next night, just as sharp as before. This is usually a dosage problem, not a failure of the fix. A cooked cup of Swiss chard delivers upward of 960 milligrams of potassium and more than 150 milligrams of magnesium, meaningfully more than spinach on both counts, plus a real dose of calcium. The third major mineral your muscles and nerves depend on for every contraction and every signal. If one green wasn't enough, this is usually the one that closes the gap. Mediterranean kitchens have leaned on chard for centuries, not for trend value but for survival value. In Greek horta, Italian ribollita, Turkish parsi, this was the green that field laborers ate, because it kept them upright through a full day of physical work. The colored stems, red, yellow, sometimes deep orange, contain a compound called betaine that supports your body's methylation processes, a fancy way of saying It helps your cells repair themselves after stress. Set it next to kale on a cutting board, and most people can't immediately tell them apart, though chard also carries a serious dose of vitamin K, relevant to blood clotting and long-term bone health. Is chard in the Bible? Not by name, but there's a resonance worth noting. At Passover, Exodus 12:8 instructs eating the meal with bitter herbs. Scholars generally point to plants like horseradish or bitter lettuce as the traditional maror, not chard specifically, so I won't claim a direct match. But the underlying idea that a slightly bitter, humble green earns a permanent seat at a sacred table has held for thousands of years. Chard would fit right in. Cook the stems a little longer than the leaves. Don't throw them away. But cramping isn't the only signal. That means you're running low. Sometimes your body just quietly gives out a little earlier than it used to. Signal 5. You climb the same flight of stairs you've climbed 100 times, the ones in your own building, and by the third step you're breathing like you just ran somewhere. Nothing's changed about the stairs. Here's the irony this one's built on. People buy beets specifically for the round red root, slice off the leafy green top, and throw it straight in the trash when the greens actually carry more potassium than the beet itself. Somewhere north of 1,300 milligrams per cooked cup, one of the single highest counts of anything sold in a produce aisle, alongside meaningful magnesium, calcium, and iron. But the beetroot itself has a separate trick relevant to your stairs problem. It's become popular with endurance athletes, specifically for its natural nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, widening blood vessels and improving how efficiently oxygen actually reaches working muscle. Less breathlessness on the same 3 steps. No verse directly names beet greens, so I'll be straight with you rather than force it. But Leviticus 19:9-10 lays out a rule for Israelite farmers. Don't harvest all the way to the edges of your field, and don't go back for what you missed. Leave it for the poor and the foreigner to gather. The same principle repeats almost word for word in Deuteronomy 24:19-21, suggesting it wasn't a one-off rule but a deliberate, repeated value. Don't waste food someone else could use. 3,000 years later, we're doing exactly what that law warned against, just with a compost bin instead of a field edge. Saute the greens with olive oil, garlic, and a squeeze of lemon, same as you'd treat spinach or chard, and juice or blend the roots separately if the nitrate angle is what you're after. But running out of breath on the stairs is one thing. What about running out of everything, all at once, mid-effort? Signal 6. Mile 8 of a run, or hour 3 of yard work. Whichever way it happens to you, there's a wall, and 1 second you're fine, and the next you have almost nothing left, like someone quietly unplugged you. That's glycogen, the stored form of carbohydrate inside your muscles, running out faster than minerals alone can fix. A medium sweet potato carries around 540 milligrams of potassium, delivered wrapped inside complex carbohydrates that digest at a slow, steady pace, answering both problems on the same plate. Refill the carbs without refilling the minerals, and your muscles are still out of balance. Refill the minerals without refilling the carbs, and you're still going to hit that same wall next time. This one's a stranger to scripture. Sweet potatoes are native to the Americas, so nobody in the biblical world ever tasted one. Moses never saw a sweet potato in his life. But there's a wilderness parallel worth knowing anyway. In Exodus 16, the Israelites wake to a mysterious substance covering the ground, so unfamiliar they name it manna, a word that essentially means, what is it? Arriving daily, with instructions to gather only enough for that one day and trust the next supply would come. An unrecognizable food sustaining a population through the hardest stretch of their journey. Purple sweet potato did something similar for the long-lived population of Okinawa, an unglamorous staple crop that outperformed everyone's expectations for what a simple food could do for the human body over a lifetime. People often ask whether orange or purple matters both deliver strong potassium, but purple carries a deeper concentration of anthocyanin antioxidants, the same pigment family behind blueberries, layered on top of everything else already on record. Roast it, skin on, for the highest mineral yield. The wall during effort is one signal. What about the wall that shows up the morning after, once the effort's already over? Signal 7. You did the recovery drink, the stretching, maybe even the foam roller, and your legs still feel like wet cement the second your feet hit the floor the next morning. Would you believe a single large potato, skin on, holds around 1,600 milligrams of potassium? That's more than 3 bananas. More than most sports drinks. More potassium than almost anything else in your kitchen. Here's the detail that should change how you cook it. Nearly all of that potassium sits in and just beneath the skin. Peel it before cooking, and you've thrown away the majority of the reason to eat it. Andean communities in South America cultivated more than 3,000 potato varieties and built their diet around this crop at altitudes above 10,000 feet, where thin air and extreme physical demands make fluid and mineral balance a matter of survival, not preference. They even developed a freeze-drying method for it, chunyo, centuries before refrigeration existed anywhere in the world. And here's a fact that surprises people who've heard potatoes called unhealthy for years. A cooked potato that's been cooled, even overnight in the fridge, develops resistant starch, a carbohydrate that behaves more like fiber, feeding gut bacteria instead of spiking blood sugar, the way a fresh hot potato does. Reheating it doesn't undo the effect. You won't find potato in scripture, obviously. It's a New World crop Europe didn't even know existed until after 1500. But there's a fitting echo in one of Jesus's shorter parables, a treasure hidden in a field, worth more than anyone walking past would ever guess. Matthew 13. The most overlooked object in your kitchen, hiding real value directly under its own skin. Bake it whole, skin and all, with a pinch of sea salt. That pinch restores sodium alongside the potato's potassium, mirroring what your body actually needs after heavy sweat more closely than almost anything you could throw together yourself. But not every signal your body sends is about a mineral. Sometimes it's about something happening at a level you can't even see. Signal 8. You've been doing everything right. Bananas, greens, water, sleep. So why does everything still feel a little inflamed, a little swollen, a little slower to bounce back than it should be, like your body's still fighting yesterday's effort instead of moving on from it? This is where the fix stops being about a mineral and starts being about the walls of your own cells. Every cell in your body has a membrane, and the sodium-potassium pump that manages your entire electrolyte balance lies embedded inside that membrane. A stiff, inflamed, poorly built membrane makes that pump work worse, no matter how much potassium or magnesium you're sending its way. Avocado does carry potassium, close to 975 milligrams per fruit, more than a banana, but the more relevant fix here is the monounsaturated fat riding along with it. The oleic acid in avocado, the same fat that dominates olive oil, supports the physical structure of that membrane, so the whole exchange system can actually function. The Aztecs called this fruit aguacatl and built it into the diet of warriors and laborers roughly 5,000 years ago. They had no concept of a cell membrane, but they clearly noticed that people who ate it recovered and performed better, and that was enough to matter. No avocado in the Bible either, another New World native. But fat as medicine is a genuinely ancient biblical idea, just wearing a different name. Olive oil. It anoints kings, treats wounds. In the parable of the Good Samaritan, oil is literally poured onto an injured stranger's wounds. Luke 10. Sanchez. Different fat, different continent, same underlying instinct. The right kind of fat helps the body heal. Half an avocado is generally the useful serving. A whole one is a lot of fat in one sitting for most digestive systems. And if cut avocado turns brown within the hour, that's simple oxidation. The same chemistry as a cut apple browning, a squeeze of lemon or lime slows it down. Some signals build slowly over days. Others hit you the second you step outside. Señal, Nina. It's 97 degrees. You've been outside 20 minutes, and your whole body feels like it's cooking from the inside, a heaviness behind your eyes that a fan just pushes around instead of fixing. Have you ever bitten into a cold slice on a day exactly like that, and felt better before you'd even finished chewing? Not your imagination. Watermelon is roughly 92% water by weight, so eating it is genuinely close to drinking water. Except this water arrives preloaded with minerals inside every cell. 2 cups deliver around 320 milligrams of potassium and 30 milligrams of magnesium, plus something sports scientists get genuinely excited about. L-citrulline, an amino acid, your body converts into arginine, supporting nitric oxide production, better blood flow, and measurably faster recovery. A study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found watermelon juice reduced muscle soreness within 24 hours of intense exercise, pointing specifically to citrulline's role in clearing lactic acid buildup. Here's where this one gets genuinely interesting. Watermelon is actually named in the Bible, just once, in Numbers 11. Woo! Wandering in the wilderness, the Israelites complained to Moses, listing everything they missed from Egypt: fish, cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, garlic. The word translated melons is the Hebrew avatikim, and this isn't a vague guess. Archaeologists have pulled actual watermelon seeds out of Egyptian tombs, including Tutankhamun's, and ancient Egyptian tomb paintings depict the fruit clearly enough to identify it. When people ask what the Bible's melon actually was, the evidence points overwhelmingly to the exact fruit in your hand. One more thing, most people throw straight in the trash: the white rind. It's edible, and it actually carries an even higher concentration of citrulline than the red flesh. Blended into a smoothie with a little lime, most people can't detect it's there. And it turns out watermelon didn't make that complaint alone. There's one more food named in that exact same sentence, 3,000 years ago, and it's the final signal on this list. Señal 10. You've had 4 glasses of water in the last hour. You're still thirsty. Somehow, that actually makes sense. 96% water, a dose of silica that supports connective tissue, a modest but real supply of potassium and magnesium, and a cooling, mild flavor that makes it one of the easiest hydration foods a person can eat without even thinking about it. Ayurvedic medicine specifically prescribed cucumber for fever and heat-related inflammation, long before anyone could explain why, in terms of water content or mineral profile. The traditions simply noticed what worked. And here's the actual answer to the thirst that won't quit signal. Water without minerals doesn't always stay where you need it. It can pass through faster than it hydrates. Structured water, arriving with even a modest mineral load, tends to satisfy that signal more completely than the glass on its own. That same verse, Numbers 11:5. Names, cucumbers, right alongside the melons, the Israelites were mourning. One twist worth knowing: many scholars now believe the Hebrew word translated cucumbers actually described something closer to a snake melon, a relative in the muskmelon family, rather than the exact cucumber on your cutting board today. Either way, it made the list, whatever it precisely was. It mattered enough to an enslaved, freed, and now wandering people that they named it out loud, from memory, in the middle of a desert. Leave the skin on when you eat it. That's where most of the fiber and a meaningful share of the vitamin K live. It's also the quiet reason spa water always seems to have a few slices floating in it, less about scent, more about a very old, very simple hydration habit that never really went away. 10 signals, 10 fixes, and underneath all 10, the same handful of requests, just wearing different symptoms: potassium, magnesium, sodium, water, and a little patience, delivered through food that's been answering these exact signals since before anyone could write a diagnosis down at all. Coconut water and banana handled the fatigue and the midnight cramp. Spinach and chard answered the twitch. Nobody thinks to explain until it's happened 3 days running. Beet greens explained the stares. Sweet potato. And potato covered the wall. And the morning after, avocado explained the swelling, hiding underneath everything else. And watermelon and cucumber closed the list, with a signal so old it's written into a 3,000-year-old complaint made in the middle of a desert. The sports drink industry wants you to believe every one of these signals needs a product with a barcode to answer it. Every culture that ever worked a full day under a hot sun, the Andean farmer, the Egyptian laborer, the desert traveler, the Mediterranean field hand, read these same signals correctly long before any of this had a scientific name. You don't need to answer all 10 signals every day. Learn to recognize the 2 or 3 that show up most in your actual life. Keep those on hand and rotate the rest in as needed. A body whose signals keep getting ignored just learns to get louder about it, the same way a smoke alarm gets more insistent, the longer nobody responds. A body that's actually heard tends to go quiet. If this changed how you'll read your own body next time something feels off, tap like before you go. Drop a comment with which signal hit closest to home. I read everyone,